Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22, and we are out here on Kubota Farms. Just adjusting my headphones there real quick. I use these JBL headphones, and I really like them, but they have these dials for volume. There's one for the game volume, and there's one for mic volume. And they're easy to, they spin kind of easily. So when you put your headphones on, my finger or my thumb or something always seems to catch the dials. And once in a while, I don't check them, and I get to recording, and either my voice is blaring at me or the game volume is blaring at me. One of the two. So if what you see in front of you hasn't quite given it away, we have a baling contract to do on this field here. Let's see, what do we have here? We are on field 47. Adrian, right? Yeah, Adrian Hooper. Sounds right. She needs us to, of course, cut the grass. She wants us to get the bales wrapped, make silage bales, and of course, take them for sale. And we are out on 47. 47, 47, 47. It's probably the one flashing at me that I'm missing right now. 45, 46, 47. Of course, it's that, that giant one that's right in front of me. So yeah, it's one of the bigger fields on the map, actually. But it's also one of the better paying contracts. I think we did something similar to this a few episodes ago. Oh, there's another baling contract for 22 and a half over on 94. But we're going to worry about just this one. Sometimes I'll take another baling contract or just whatever contract it is like this and accept it. And the game allows you to use the same equipment that I've already borrowed for the one contract to use on another one. So Samuel Ortega here would get the privilege of using Adrian's equipment. But I guess that's that's okay, I guess. You know what we're gonna do? Actually, you don't get we don't get penalized, correct, for not completing a contract. I think you did. You used to get penalized in previous versions of the game? It seems like you did, but I've purposely taken contracts. We're gonna accept that one just by the way while I'm yapping. I've purposely taken contracts and not completed them or not done them at all and just said, nope, not going to do it. And it says failed. But it doesn't look like it takes any cash from your bank account. So, yeah. But we need to get cooking. I suppose the first thing we need to do is get this Kloss off the grass. I don't, well, it's bad. I honestly did not intend that at all, but it just kind of hit me. So we'll get the Kloss off the grass. It's a good thing somebody can laugh at my jokes. I'm glad they gave us this Vermeer. I really, really, really like this self-propelled jobber. They still haven't fixed the issue, and I don't know actually if they're going to be able to. But my wheel, yeah, it's auto. If I turn my wheel, it just goes forwards and backwards. And there were posts on it out on the, I don't know who lives here, by the way, but I hope they don't mind. Now, okay, now look at that, though. Look at the, let me turn this thing off so it doesn't run away on us. Look at the scale of this Vermeer to the house. Now, if that is a standard, if that house is a standard one-story house, and, by scale, look at the size of that baler. Isn't that crazy? I wouldn't expect that baler to be that big, but it is big. And then look at the size of the Big M to this house. Let me check that out. Just somebody pulling up to your bedroom window in one of these Big M's. Okay, that didn't. Yeah, that's not going to scare you too much, though. the little honky horn's not really going to do much. So here's kind of what I was thinking. Oh, I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I was thinking about doing a course-play course on here. And if we did a course-play course, well, I guess we could set up a course anyways, use it or not. I guess we can do that. Because here's my thoughts. If you set up a course-play course, you can use it for baling. You can use it for, you know, a lot of things. But I can always set one up later if I really want to. Let's go ahead and unfold our buddy here. I can tell you this much, that I definitely want to use GPS. And I think starting over in the corner over here. Let's see here. Yeah, this will work. We can start in this corner up here and work our way. Just noticing those our fields 8 and 9 there. What is that precision farming showing us that they are a little off balance on the pH or something there. I think that's what that is. So hope everyone had a good weekend. Why are weekends so short and fast, and then the week is long and slow? I think actually I had somebody told me, I don't know if someone told me this or if I had read it. Let's set up I think I need to turn on, there we go, let's turn on GPS. I read it somewhere, somebody told me that the reason why it always feels like, excuse me, the reason why it always feels like time flies when you're having fun, as the old saying goes. Let's lower and turn on. Oh, you know what? Ooh, ooh. I'm just thinking. Let's turn this off for a sec. This contract is, yeah, let's make sure we get our swath set up here. No wide spreading. We want swath dropping. That'll save us a lot of work. In fact, I don't think they gave us a windrower in this anyway, so yeah. So let's get her done. So somebody once told me, or I heard somewhere, that it's a brain chemical thing. And your brain, it puts out a different chemical when you're having fun, or when you're enjoying life, or not stressed or at ease kind of thing. And that through both experience, turn off our GPS so we can take a little turn here, through both experience and memories, that your brain handles those things differently because of those chemicals in your brain. And that's why, and I don't know if I even said that correctly, but that's why I guess the old saying is time flies when you're having fun, is because your brain is actually chemically doing something different when you're having fun versus not having fun, I guess. It's kind of interesting. I don't know whether that's true or not, to be, if I'm being honest. It makes sense from a non-scientific person, for a non-scientific person like myself. We don't have... I'll just eyeball this one. Always makes me nervous that the back's not going to drop in time, but it always does. Smart little thing. So we're back on Monday, back in Kubota Farm. We said goodbye to Boot Churn this weekend. Sunday I spent a little time reminiscing I lit a candle for Buchern and said my goodbyes, made my peace with it. But I am excited to be doing Kubota and just spending some more time on this farm and hopefully getting somewhere, you know, making some advancements on this farm instead of splitting up our time between two different maps. And like I said, I'm still going to be doing the old Throwback Thursdays, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun getting stuff done on Kubota. I am in a rhyming mood tonight, apparently. Fun getting stuff done. Get the kloss off the grass. Didn't say they were good rhymes, just rhymes nonetheless. So I want to do this real quick. I don't know, I always like to be able to turn off the lines on the GPS if I can. It's just, you know, that one little thing that kind of reminds you that it's a video game when those lines are there. So I just try and take them away when I can. So I read somewhere recently, I think it was on a, I don't know if I want to admit where this was at. It was on a website that I went to I don't know what the topic was. It was certainly had something to do with YouTube videos, YouTube creation. Get the drone out. You know how you always see the drones now on those farming videos, flying around, following the farmer around. Drones are so cool. I love the drones that follow you like that. I think that's such a slick thing. That's so cool. If I owned a drone, that would be the feature. A feature I would want from my drone would be, I'd want it to follow me everywhere. Maybe not everywhere, but it'd be pretty sweet to have something like that, though, wouldn't it? So I'm sorry, going back to this website I was visiting, and no, it was not naughty. It had something to do with... Sorry, I had to think about what I was doing there for a second. Okay. It had something to do with making YouTube videos. And, you know, maybe... I totally forget. That's not important. What I read there, though, I thought was kind of interesting. And one of the things they said was what not to eat. Seriously now. What not to eat before you make videos. And they didn't say, like, just generalities like, you know, don't have a big meal before the video. They didn't say some things like that. They said things like, specific things like, don't eat ice cream before making a video. I don't know. I don't know if I understand that, but it had something to do with what it does. Like maybe a dairy creates throat phlegm, I guess, maybe. You know, don't drink, you know, obviously don't drink a lot of pop and stuff. Maybe the carbonation makes you want to burp and stuff like this. And they just went down these different food lists. I'm glad I turned traffic off because I am not paying attention to that at all. And they went down all this different food list, and I just thought it was kind of comical. It was like, wow, I'm really, you know, there's more to this than I thought there was. If I can't have ice cream before I make videos, I don't know if I really want to do this, right? I mean, come on. Really, really like these chrome Big M's. These things are sweet. I was out perusing Giants forum today. Their Farming Simulator 22 forum. General discussion forum, I guess, you know, where people post just general stuff, you know, not always necessarily technical support and stuff like that. I did go to that one as well, but I got kind of caught up in the general forum, and somebody had posted. In fact, if you go out there and you can check it out for yourself, I thought it was kind of interesting. I think the title of the post was "Logs stored in containers. Are you kidding me?" I think that was the title of the post, something along those lines. And I'm like, what? You know, what? Wait, what? First of all, I didn't even know that really happened. I didn't know they stored logs in containers, like, you know, shipping containers. I thought logs were just put on trailers and stored outside in heaps. So I'm not sure I understand exactly what that's all about. It must have been shown. See, I didn't catch the last fact sheets that were released for the Platinum DLC. Or for the, I don't know, it's not a DLC though, is it? Is it a DLC for the Platinum pack or Platinum version? But apparently that they must have shown logs being put into containers. And the OP, or the original poster, was just not happy at all about this. Like, they just weren't having it. To them, number one, it was a ridiculous concept. Which I don't know, maybe it is or not. Somebody actually left a video of real life log of that happening, so apparently it does happen in real life, so there's that. But I thought what was more interesting was the fact that the conversation of physics, Giants physics, not real world physics, but farming simulator physics, came into discussion, of course, which if you spend enough time out on the Giants forums, you'll see that come up a lot, you know, which we all know. I mean, if we're being fair, even us fanboys of the game, fangirls, when I say fanboys, I mean that generically, which, by the way, when I say, hey, you guys, and things like that, that's my age, that's like habit. I don't mean just talking to men, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, so yeah, they were, it was one after the other, you know, just railroading kind of Giants about their horrible physics and how bad, you know, it's going to have to be. You know, putting logs into containers is going to be a nightmare. And if I'm being honest, that was actually one of the first things I thought of was, how is that even remotely going to work in today's game physics? Because even if, like I said, even if you are a huge fan of the game, we all know Giants physics, farming simulator physics, are not accurate. You know, I mean, from how bales react a lot of times, especially round bales, you know, just weird stacking things. Pallets don't react right half the time when you're trying to dump a pallet. The thing sticks to your forks, even though you're scraping it along the ground. Just, you know, we could go on and on and on. Grass and ground becomes ice. Like if you're driving a car, it just goes magically skidding everywhere. I don't know. There's some weird stuff. For me, I don't really let it bother me because it's part of it's just the game. It is the game. Now, would I love to see this stuff corrected? Of course. I would love to be able to have physics be more real worldly. I don't know how else to really put it. I think you know what I mean. I also understand that there's always give and take. And I have to think, and unless the engine is just so broken and so bad that they haven't been able to fix the physics in this game in 10 years. Because you can trace bad physics in Farming Simulator back several versions. I have to believe that there are other reasons for this. And I just have to, I have to think that way. I don't know game design. I don't know game development. I'm not a coder. But I have to think that. And I thought people had legitimate arguments or statements that they made. And I do agree. It was one of the first things I thought of when, other than the fact that I wasn't that thrilled about a logging map, which we all can now say it's a logging map. Now, you can do other things with it, but that's its primary, you know, that's clearly its primary focus. And that's one of the first things I thought of when I saw was like, oh man, unless they have done something to improve the physics with logging, this could really be frustrating. And then I saw that video that they showed where a couple of the game developers, I think they were a couple of the game developers, they were from Giants, showing some gameplay. And they were showing how that big Volvo picked up like all those logs at one time, right? And brought it over to the train and set it down onto that train car, that log car. And I was like, wow, okay. Either this person has practiced this a lot. But that's the thing, even with practice, you're still limited to the physics of the game. And that looked good to me. That looked like, and in fact, I think even, I don't know if it was DJ Goham or who it was, made a comment like, they must have done something differently here, because in today's physics of the game, those logs would have been jumping all over the place. Because I remember when I tried to pick up like 5 or 6 logs at once with a big grabber, and that they would go nuts, man. Those logs would be flickering and jumping on the ends and doing all kinds of craziness. And that was on a good day. I've had them jump, you know, up in the air and do all kinds of weird things. And so either that dude got really, really lucky and maybe had practiced a lot, or they've made some improvements. I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I have to believe that they did make improvements. I think the other thing that supports the case of that they've made improvements, though, would be the fact that they've added these grapples and these winches into the game too. Being able to pull logs, you know, the way that they show and stuff. I don't know, there seems to be other factors in what I've seen that might support the fact that some changes have been made. At that same time, I still kind of wonder, what are they waiting for then? If they've made improvements like that, you know, why did it take them this long to get those improvements done? Why haven't they put them into the game already? You know, we've got logging in the game already. We could use those improvements right now. And if there are improvements, will those improvements carry over to pallets and bales? So I just don't know what to think. You know, I don't know what to think. The only thing I know for sure is we're just going to have to wait and see. And it's coming up soon, and it'll be really interesting because I really have a feeling that if improvements haven't been made, I just have this feeling there's going to be a lot of complaining from people. And I think in some ways, reasonably so, that, hey, Giants, you've introduced Volvo, you're making a big deal out of all this big logging equipment and all this other stuff. So where's the improvements in the physics that should go along with it? And I could see that argument taking shape. And it'll be interesting to wait and see, you know. I don't know. At least in this particular discussion on this post, I would say it was evident that that there wasn't a lot of confidence in that going to take place, and I would also suggest I would also strongly suggest that I took away from people that very low confidence level in Giants' ability to do that. I don't know. It does get frustrating. I remember talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking. He's a big fan of the game too. Not as big as I am, but definitely when the game comes out is, you know, right up there with purchasing it, you know, day one and playing it. But he steers away from it after a few months, where I continue to kind of play it throughout, you know, its lifespan. But we were talking about things like it's just part of the game, and it's actually something that I actually kind of enjoy, and I think it's kind of funny. Like, if something really weird happens in the game, like once in a while you see weird things. Like, I've seen floating cows, I've seen sheep that are popping up from the ground, I've had chickens go through walls. Actually, we still have animals that like to go through walls. That's for sure. I'm looking. Oh, I see what I'm doing here. Okay. I was like, this isn't lining up, but I wasn't using GPS when I made that headland, so that's why we're getting kind of funky there. I will figure it out. And to me, that stuff is often, I just kind of, I don't know, I take it in stride and I kind of laugh, and I think it's kind of funny. I think the funniest moment I've personally ever had in the game, I think was FS17, if I remember correctly. It might have been 15, but it was one of the two. And there was a known bug that if you left loaded log trailers, if you left loaded trailers with logs on them, and you saved your game, when you would come back into the game, really bad things could happen. And and I'll never forget the time I did that, and I actually didn't even think about it. I knew about the bug, and I tried to make it a point to avoid that, but evidently I just wasn't thinking, and I was doing a bunch of logging, and I came into the game one day and I saw these logs flying through the air. I mean, everywhere, just launching like rockets all over the place. And I just stood there and I watched them, because you can't do anything about it. And I just looked in the sky and I just started watching these logs just, you know, and they weren't like shooting 10, 20 feet. These things were going full map distance, kind of launching. And I never, ever did find them all. I'm confident I could never find them all. I would find them every once in a while in the weirdest places too, which just made me laugh even more. I would find them occasionally, like, and it wouldn't dawn on me right away. Like, I would be driving down the road and I would see a log leaning up against a house. And I would, you know, the first thought was like, that's a weird place for Giants to put a log. And then I would just be like, oh, yeah, that's one of them. Okay. And that's just, and that, but see, I know some people that would make really mad. And it was frustrating because a lot of work goes into, you can put a lot of work into that kind of stuff, especially with logging, because like we're talking about the physics are not great. And it can be really frustrating, and it can be a lot of work to load a trailer with logs. And then to have it absolutely explode on you for no reason, I could see being frustrating. But I guess I'm just not wired in the rage quit way. I'm more wired in the just find humor in it kind of way. Maybe be frustrated, but probably laugh more than be frustrated. So, anyways, yeah, it was an interesting post. I would encourage you, if you're never out there on the Giants forums, I would encourage you to go check it out sometime. It is interesting, to say the least. I think just to see what the community's up to, what problems people are having, or what people are excited about, or all that stuff. So let's go ahead, and we can also kill this GPS. Tell you what, the Big M makes short work of mowing, doesn't it? I mean, it's fast and it's wide. It does a nice job, no doubt about it. And that is it for that mow job. And actually, what's nice is this little guy here makes very fast work of baling. The only thing I need to make very sure of before I start is that our baler size goes to 150, because that wrapper over there is not going to wrap 180s, is it? I think this is the... I just want to make sure this Kverneland... Does the Kverneland wrap... Doesn't one of these round balers do 180s or not? Oh, it's this guy here. Okay, yeah, so 125 through 150s. 150s. Oh, is it just the Andersons that can do round 180s? What about this one? That's 150 round. Oh, this mod. That's right. I've got these modded Coons that can do 180 rounds. These are really nice if you're not super strict about being if you're what do I want to say? Realistic. So if you're okay with a little bit of breaking the realism barrier, these Coons here are really, really nice, and you can get twice the speed, 3 times the speed. Yeah, but these are nice. If you don't mind kind of the unrealistic bale wrapping speeds and stuff, they're pretty sweet. But anyways, Kverneland, we're stuck at 150. Shame on you, Kverneland. Why can't you do 180s? You just gotta do 180s for us. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Kubota Farm. I'm hoping, and fingers crossed, with all the problems that I've been having with contracts on East Vineland. Not blaming you, East Vineland. I'm just saying I've had some problems. That this one does not disappear. I will be extremely disappointed if this contract disappears on this, because I've had it happen one time where a non-completed contract just went poof. So let's fingers crossed. Positive it'll still be here next time. Thank you all for joining me once again on this fine Monday. I hope your week goes very, very well for you. I hope I see you again Tuesday. We'll be back here on Kubota Farm once again, getting on the Vermeer and finishing this thing up. You all take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Very important. And I'll see y'all soon.